History of computers, timeline, and ordering activities. Definition of computer. A computer is an electronic machine that accepts information data, processes it according to specific instructions, and provides the result as new information. Earliest computer. Originally, calculations were computed by humans whose job title was computers. These humans' computers were typically engaged in the calculation of mathematical expression. The calculation of this period were specialized and expensive, requiring years of training in mathematics. The first use of the word computer was recorded in 1613, referring to a person who carried out calculation or computations, and the word continued to be used in the sense until the middle of the 20th century. Tally sticks. A tally sticks was an ancient memory aid device to record and document numbers, quantities, or even messages. Abacus. An abacus is a mechanical device used to aid an individual in performing mathematical calculations. The abacus was invented in Babylonia in 2400 BC. The abacus, in the form we are most familiar with, was first used in China in around 500 BC. It is used to perform basic arithmetic operations. Early abacus and modern abacus. Napier's bones, invented by John Napier in 1614, allowed the operator to multiply, divide, and calculate square and cube roots by moving the roots around and placing them in special constructed boards. Slide rule, invented by William Oughtred in 1622. Based on Napier's idea about logarithms used primarily for multiplication, division, roots, logarithm, trigonometry, not normally used for addition or subtraction. Pascaline, invented by Blaise Pascal in 1642. It was its limitation to addition and subtraction. It is too expensive. Stephen Corner, invented by Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz in 1672. The machine that can add, subtract, multiply, and divide automatically. Jacquard loom. The Jacquard loom is a mechanical loom invented by Joseph Marie Jacquard in 1881. It's an automatic loom controlled by punch card. Arithmometer, a mechanical calculator invented by Thomas de Colmar in 1822. The first reliable, useful, and commercially successful calculating machine. The machine could perform the four basic mathematics functions. The first mass-produced calculating machine. Difference engine and analytical engine. It's an automatic mechanical calculator designed to tabulate polynomial functions. Invented by Charles Babbage, father of computer, in 1822 and 1834, it is the first mechanical computers. The first computer programmer. In 1840, Augusta Ada Byron suggests to Babbage that he use the binary system. She writes the programs for the analytical engine. Stuyvesant calculation engine, invented by George Stuyvesant in 1843. Based on Charles Babbage difference engines, the first printing calculator. Tabulating machine, invented by Herman Hollerith in 1890 to assist in summarizing information and accounting. Harvard Mark I, also known as IBM Automatic Sequence Controlled Calculator or ASCC, invented by Howard H. Aiken in 1943, the first electromechanical computer. Z1, the first programmable computer created by Konrad Zuse in Germany from 1936 to 1938. The program, the Z1, required that the user insert punch tape into a punch tape reader, and all output was also generated through punch tape. Atanasoff Berry Computer or ABC. It was the first electronic digital computing device invented by Professor John Atanasoff and graduate student Clifford Berry at Iowa State University between 1939 and 1942. ENIAC. ENIAC stands for Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. It was the first electronic general-purpose computer. completed in 1946, developed by John Presper Eckert and John W. Mauchly. UNIVAC 1. The UNIVAC 1, Universal Automatic Computer 1, was the first commercial computer designed by G. Presper Eckert and John Mauchly. EDVAC. EDVAC stands for Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer, the first stored program computer designed by von Neumann in 1952. It has a memory to hold both a stored program as well as data. Osborne 1, the first portable computer released in 1981 by the Osborne Computer Corporation. The first computer company. The first computer company was the Electronic Controls Company, founded in 1949 by G. Presper Eckert and John Mauchly. Computer generations. There are 5 generations of computer. First generations during 1946 to 1958. Second generation 1959 to 1964. Third generation 1965 to 1970. Fourth generation 1971 today. Fifth generation today to future. The first generation. The first computers used vacuum tubes for circuitry and magnetic drums for memory and were often enormous, taking up entire rooms. They were very expensive to operate, and in addition to using a great deal of electricity, generated a lot of heat, which was often the cause of malfunctions. First generation computers relied on machine language, the lowest level programming language understood by computers, to perform operations, and they could only solve one problem at a time. Input was based on punch cards and paper tape, and output was displayed on printouts. The second generation. Transistors replaced vacuum tubes and ushered in the second generation of computers. One transistor replaced the equivalent of 40 vacuum tubes, allowing computers to become smaller, faster, cheaper, more energy efficient, and more reliable. Still generated a great deal of heat that can damage the computer. Second generation computers moved from cryptic binary machine language to symbolic or assembly languages, which allowed programmers to specify instruction in words. Second generation computers still relied on punch cards for input and printouts for output. These were also first computers that stored their instructions in their memory, which moved from magnetic drum to magnetic core technology. The third generation. The development of an integrated circuit was the hallmark of the third generation of computers. Transistors were miniaturized and placed on silicon chips called semiconductors, which drastically increased the speed and efficiency of computers, much smaller and cheaper compared to the second generation computers. It could carry out instructions in a billionth of a second. Users interacted with the third generation computers through keyboards and monitors and interfaced with an operating system, which allowed the device to run many different applications at one time with central programs that monitored the memory. Computers for the first time became accessible to a mass audience because they were smaller and cheaper than their predecessors. The fourth generation. The microprocessor brought the fourth generation of computers, such as thousands of integrated circuits were built onto a single silicon chip. As these small computers became more powerful, they could be linked together to form networks, which eventually led to the development of the internet. Fourth generation computers also saw the development of GUIs, the mouse and handheld devices. The fifth generation, based on artificial intelligence or AI, is still in develop. The use of parallel processing and superconductors is helping to make artificial intelligence a reality. The goal is to develop devices that respond to a natural language input and are capable of learning and self-organization. There are some applications, such as voice recognition, and that are being used today.